Hey guys, it's Mason, and this is Wrestling in the Dark, the only wrestling review and recap show brought to you by a blind fan, as far as I know. NXT UK episode 39. What happened? How good was it? If you want to find out, stick with me as I take a look through this week's NXT UK and see how it all panned out. Did I like it or not? You know you want to stick around. Kicking off the night, it was those cheeky Scottish lads, the Coffee Brothers, Mark and Joe, versus the team of Humberto Koreo and Raoul Mendoza. This was a weird start to the match. These tapings that they do outside of the UK, I understand why they have to do them for logistical reasons. I also think that it's nice that the American audiences get exposure to the UK brand, but lend itself to the same feeling that the UK crowd does. And for me, part of the experience with NXT UK is that UK crowd, and it just this match in particular was very, very quiet from the crowd, but it was an okay match. Really, I don't know. I have weird feelings about it because the crowd really, really killed it for me, but. In the early moments, the Coffee Brothers kept Humberto Carrillo grounded. He kept trying to pick up the pace, but it just wasn't taking. Joe hit a spinning butterfly suplex, which sounded quite nice. It didn't pay off, though, for him. Eventually, Raoul Mendoza got the tag in, and he hit a top rope dropkick and an enziguri on Joe, but nothing came of that. A bit later on in the match, Humberto Carrillo hit a moonsault. Raoul Mendoza hit the 450 splash, but again, just a near fall. Eventually, Joe and Mark managed to turn the tide around again, and eventually Joe put Humberto Carrillo down for the 1, 2, 3. There was a few nice spots in this. The action was called well by Nigel and Vic, but it was so quiet in that arena that I could hear Vic Joseph's voice echoing. It was crazy. There was individual fans shouting things that you could hear, and it just really took away from the energy of the match for me. And I love it when those Gallus boys get heat, and there was just no heat there. And there was no real face heat for Humberto and Raoul either. There was just no energy for it. So this match probably could have been at least a strong 4 if the crowd had got behind it. But as it was, it was sort of a stronger 3. I would struggle to say it would go into the 4 territory. So the Gallus boys and Raoul and Humberto down. It could have been a good match, but just never really connected with me. After that, we got a Cassius Ohno backstage interview, and this was a 6 out of 6 heel promo. He came across as an absolute dickhead in this segment. He said that he was truly offering that European British authentic style, and it's such a cool heel move, having someone from outside someone of outside the UK coming in and saying that they're the one offering the authentic British style. Really, really like that. It really, really does make him look like such a good heel. He corrected the backstage interviewer on the pronunciation of his name. He said it's not Cassius, it's Cassius. It's Cassius, and that was brilliant too. The delivery was so good, and he said that there's veterans, and he kept doing that. He kept doing veterans, trying to do the British accent, and he said that there's veterans in NXT UK like Ligero who are applauded for working their way across the country in wrestling in every town and up and down and wrestling 300 matches in a year, and he made the point to say that he's quantity, not he's quality over quantity. I almost completely messed that up. So I really liked that too. It really actually got me behind Ligero. I'm not particularly interested in Ligero usually. I haven't connected with him in the past, but this really made me want to see Ligero prove Cassius Ohno wrong. I really want to see him kick his ass and be like, no, I'm the true British wrestler, and I have true quality to, and I just can't wait for that. I think Cassius Ohno has really come into his own now that they've put him in the NXT UK brand. I don't know why, but I'd never really connected with him in NXT, but now he's in UK and he's really on point with his heel work. It's just going really well for me, and I really enjoyed it. Next, after that, we got a Pete Dunne Walter rematch vid to hype the rematch, and it was pretty cool because you got people like Mark Andrews and other NXT UK talent and a few other wrestlers just saying that the Pete Dunne Walter match was one of the hardest hitting matches that they'd ever seen, and just really hyping up how special and a big event it was. And it was really cool because then right at the end you get Jordan Devlin like, no one cares. I don't care. Who cares? And I really liked that. It was just this really nice video package of the first half was just completely like, oh yeah, that was the greatest match I've ever seen. Oh, it was really good. Big moment, big fight feel, big moments. And then just Jordan Devlin just comes in and he's like, nah, I don't care. I don't want to see that match. And that was a really nice video package. So I'm excited. I'm getting really excited for that Pete Dunne Walter rematch. Dave Mastiff versus Kona Reeves up next, and this match was nothing special for me. I've never really connected with Kona Heaves, as I like to call him, to wind up people on the Discord channel that I go on. It's just never really connected with him, and I've never truly connected with Dave Mastiff, but I did enjoy one part of this that we got. But the match itself was not anything special. We got a big back body drop from Dave Mastiff at one point, and then he started hitting big elbows to the face of Kona. There was a bit of back and forth. Kona got some stuff in, but in the end, Dave Mastiff hit that big clothesline, his drop kick, the release German suplex, and the cannonball for the win. And it doesn't really do anything for me. It's just a match that happened in front of a crowd that barely cared, although we did get a Let's Go Mastiff chant that lasted for about 4 rounds. And it just does nothing for me. I don't know what they could do to make me connect to these two. But having said that, I really did enjoy what we got afterwards. So Dave Mastiff is getting asked about his victory, and he gets referred to as a strong man, and that brings out Wolfgang, who starts Dave Mastiff. He's just like, you're not a strong man. You've never been up against someone like me, and I'm not going to do Wolfgang's accent. I was so tempted, but I'm not going to. Anyway, he's like, you've never been up against people like me. And Dave Mastiff just, for the first time since I've watched the NXT UK brand, Mastiff actually shows some intensity. He's like, you're nothing. I'd have you for dinner. And I really loved that line. It was just Dave Mastiff was just like, come on then, let's go, let's have a fight. And it all starts getting all rowdy, like an English pub fight. It just sounded like you could hear it out on the street on a Friday night, just them two getting all obnoxious and testosterone filled rage with each other. It was just great. I can't wait to see them two just have like a really hard hitting match. Wolfgang could actually be one of those people that could give Mastiff a really strong competition, so I'm really looking forward to that. Like I said, the Kona Reeves and Dave Mastiff match itself was like a 3 out of 6. I really wasn't interested, but that backstage segment with Wolfgang and Dave Mastiff was just great, and I can't wait to see them two clash. It's so good. Just a proper, real sounding English style brawl fight. It was just brilliant. After that, there was an incredibly short Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews promo where they said that they want to be the top team in NXT UK. And I've just got to say, I agree with Steve here from Going In Raw. I do not like Mark Andrews. Don't like his theme. Don't like his energy. I actually wish that they'd turn him heel so he could just be a little annoying, buzzing round your ear sort of fly type heel. I don't like him as a face. I don't like Flash Morgan Webster either. I don't like that mod father thing. And the two of them together, it's too cheery. It makes me just want to just smash their heads together and tell them both to just get a bit more serious. I really didn't like it. I don't like these two. Please change them. After that, it was Rhea Ripley versus Kasie Catanzaro, and this was a nice little display of Rhea Ripley's heelness. They're really trying to build her up even more. They've got Piper Niven there now in the background waiting to clash with her, and I really hope that they can draw this out for a while with Ripley and Nevin. I don't want to see them having a match, in 3 weeks' time. They need to build this until we have that next UK takeover, and they do need to do another takeover over here. I can't wait till they do it again, and we need that big stage, and I think Rhea Ripley and Piper Niven really deserve it. In terms of the actual action with Kasie Catanzaro and Rhea Ripley, it was sort of minimal, but there was a few nice things. Rhea Ripley was really taking it to Kasie Catanzaro, just really aggressive, keeping her grounded, taking it to her. Kasie was in the submission hold for quite a while. She was trying to use her core strength to do like handstands and get out of it and use and take Rhea Ripley into pins, and it just wasn't working for her because Rhea Ripley was just too strong. She just kept overpowering her, and in the end she hit that riptide and put Kasie down for the 1, 2, 3, and I just really liked it. There was something about what Kasie Catanzaro was trying and the way that Nigel McGuinness was calling it that just I was actually quite intrigued by her, and I'm looking forward to seeing her next contest. I really liked Rhea Ripley's heel work in here. She just comes across as a terrible human being. She's like taking it to Kasie Catanzaro, and the ref's telling her to stop, and she's like, I know your rules, Tom. And then after she puts Kasie down for the 1, 2, 3, she locks in that inverted cloverleaf just because, and then we get a little backstage interview where she's like, that's what happens when you step into the ring with me. It's my division, and she is an incredible heel. I can't wait to see Piper Niven just give her a comeuppance. It's just, I can't wait to see her pay for how much of a horrible human being she is. This was a 4 out of 6. It was actually really effective for getting Rhea Ripley just that little bit more heat behind her. Another win, make her look dominant, and plenty of evidence as for why she should go up against Piper Niven. After that, we got Ginny being asked about losing to Toni Storm and pleading the fifth and just walking off and not answering. That just happened. And then we had the main event segment of the show with the grizzled young veterans, Zack Gibson and James Drake. They cut a promo before the match, and it was absolutely fantastic. The best line of it was, Amir Jordan, Kenny Williams, soak it in, enjoy tonight, because a non-title match 4,000 miles away from your family is the closest you're going to get to these tag team championships. And I really liked it. It was just like, I've not really got much connection to Jordan and Williams, and as much as I really try to hate the heels and get behind the faces, there's something about Zack Gibson, and there's something special about him, and I can't help but root for him. And it was a really, really good heel promo. The match itself was really, really good. Zack Gibson was taking on Amir Jordan in the early parts. He was keeping that wrist control. He got an armbar takedown. He was just working the left wrist of Amir Jordan for a good long while, just wouldn't let it go. Eventually, he tagged in James Drake, and he came in and immediately started throwing big forearms to the face of Jordan. Eventually, Jordan sidestepped, and he picked up the pace, hitting a monkey flip on Drake. He eventually tagged Kenny Williams in. Kenny Williams hit a springboard back elbow on Zack Gibson, which started really picking up the pace. Gibson was really struggling, or was at least acting like he was struggling with his ear. He was on the outside at one point after getting kicked in it, and Nigel McGuinness was really playing up on the fact that he had his eardrum burst before, and that'll affect your equilibrium. And he said it was almost unfair that the match carried on. James Drake hit a nice suplex at one point that he floated over into the cover. I really like that he doesn't say anything, actually. Originally I thought, oh, this team's being carried by Zack Gibson, but as great as Gibson is on the mic and in the ring, James Drake's really good in the ring, and it makes him feel like he is actually a valuable part of the team. Gibson was on the outside talking a lot of trash whenever whenever Drake was in. He was also telling the faces to calm down, because it's an exhibition match, not a title match. He's just going, calm down, it's an exhibition, and it just makes him come across like he really isn't taking Williams and Jordan seriously, and maybe that leads to his downfall a little bit later on in the match with that kick to the ear. Eventually, Amir Jordan and Kelly Williams, that's his sister, Kenny Williams, turn it around, start picking up the pace a little bit, but the grizzled young veterans use some tag team offense against them for the near fall. Eventually, though, the faces hit their finisher, Swanton Bombay, which I missed. I missed the setup. I will pay attention more in the coming weeks, but I missed how Williams set it up, but then Jordan hit the Swanton Bomb, and I'm not sure how I feel about it being called the Swanton Bombay. It's just it's such a stupid, let's be honest, it's a stupid name, and it really just, that team is pretty stupid, aren't they? And I feel like they want them to be like the feel good New Day-esque team of the UK, but it just doesn't connect with me for some reason. And eventually they hit that Swanton Bombay, and Gibson got out of the ring, and James Drake and him just walked off, and they allowed Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan to pick up the count-out victory, and Vic Joseph was sort of outraged by it, and it was all a really nice it was a nice, tightly done match. I really did like the in-ring action. I loved the heel work of Zack Gibson, talking trash to the people in the ring, talking trash to the crowd. It was really effective work. Again, this is one of those segments where the American audience really is different to the UK audience. They were trying their best to do the shoes off if you hate Gibson song, but it was just, they were going, if you hate Gibson, shoes off. If you hate Gibson, shoes off. And it just didn't work at all. And I felt really sorry for them, because they clearly did want to get that song going. But it's the difference in the culture and the difference in the crowd. In the UK, we have a nice old sing-along. We all were pretty much made to sit in a assembly hall as kids and sing hymns, and if anyone's school was like mine, if we messed up the hymns, they went back and made us sing the correct words until we got it right. And I think that's just led to a culture of us all being able to just get together and sing it, and it's such a shame, because I did feel that they were trying to get behind or show some heat for Gibson and get that song started, but it just never really connected, and it felt a bit wrong hearing it coming from the American audience. But there was some really nice boos for him, though, a really long, drawn-out wall of boos when he was doing his promo. This was a really, really decent stretch of the show. The main event really drew me in. It was a tightly told match. It was a really good promo, and all in all, some nice in-ring action, some nice character work from both sides. But the count-out victory for Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams cannot be a sweet taste for them. Let's see where it goes in the future. After that, we got Pete Dunne talking about the rematch that he wants. He was asked what next for him, and he said, "Do you think I'm just going to walk away after building all of this, after having such a long title reign? I'm not letting the title go. I've had all of the experiences to have in WWE. I've been main eventing takeovers, I've been at the top of NXT, I've been on Raw, I was in the Royal Rumble, but Walter was the one that caught me off guard. He caught me on an off night, and he said, Walter, since I built this platform for you to stand on, how about you give me the same respect and give me an opportunity, give me my rematch?" And it was a really, really well done, well put together video package / promo. Pete Dunne came across as actually, he's usually really, really quiet and chill, and he still was in this promo, but there was just this intensity to him. He said, "The fans are so used to seeing me as the champion, they've forgotten about the chase, but I haven't forgotten about the chase. I remember what it was like when Tyler was champ, wanting to be the champ and wanting to take it from him and being hungry." And it was really good. It just seems like he is really desperate for that title rematch, and now he seems like he's got the confidence. He thinks he can take Walter on, and I can't wait to see the rematch again. I hope that they can build to another UK takeover soon, because it'll be a shame to see the rematch on another NXT NA takeover. If they do it in that standalone one in July or near the SummerSlam one, I think it's just going to be a shame. I really think that if we're going to get the rematch, we need that next UK takeover to be coming sometime soon, and I'm really hoping that they'll announce it around SummerSlam time, that sort of thing. But this was a really, really solid promo from Pete Dunne. Really got me hyped for the Walter Dunne rematch, and I think that they're doing a great job of really building that match up to feel like a big deal, what with the video package earlier on in the night and then this promo. Really, really solid segment. I enjoyed it. So those were my thoughts on this week's NXT UK. Some nice moments, some more boring parts, but for the most part it was a decent show. A strong 3 out of 6, low 4 out of 6 show. There were some really, really nice points that just really drew me in, like the Pete Dunne promo and the Zack Gibson match. It was just that American audience that I'm not sure whether it's because we haven't got anything to build to, or whether the American audience sort of sucked the life out of it. But I really can't wait to see what it's like next time they get back in front of that UK crowd. It's when they get in front of that Scottish audience, that is going to be a really, really interesting experience. So this sort of clocked in a low 4, strong 3 episode for me. How did it work out for you? Let me know in the comments below. Let's have a conversation about it, because I love hearing what other people have to say. If you've liked what you've heard here, hit that like button for me. It always goes a long way. And if you want to stay up to date with all of my videos, hit that subscribe button, hit the notify bell, and you'll never miss an episode of Wrestling in the Dark. Right guys, I'm off, and you should have a good one.